The balance update is here, and it brought the big daddy Berserker damage. Let's talk about the new build. I'm only going to be talking about Berserker's technique in this video because that's the build that I play. But there were a few major changes, so let's go ahead and go over them. So as far as Mountain Crash, the big change here is that now you can get critical hit rate bonus from one of your tripods, which is pretty good. At level 5 it's 33%, which now matches Red Dust at 33% as well. So it's very good, and it's got a pretty short cooldown here of only 12 seconds, so it's pretty solid. It depends on how much swiftness you have, but it's a very good option now, so it makes rotations much easier. The general flow of a fight is very much improved, I will say that. And then the second change is now you're going to be taking Brave Slash because you don't need Maelstrom anymore. So you take Brave Slash and you will go Quick Prep, Burst Enhancement, and Acrimony. But the cool thing about this skill, about this tripod in particular, Burst Enhancement, is that the cooldown resets when you enter your Berserk mode or your Burst mode. And that is the same cool tripod change that comes over with Overdrive. So this skill is replacing Strike Wave. I don't even know why that skill was in the game in the first place. It's literally the worst, most clunkiest, doesn't make sense skill that I've ever have on any of my classes that I've played. And I've played like 20 classes. I'm so glad that they finally made this change, and it's a pretty dang good skill. So what happens here is you're going to take 3, 2, and 1 on the tripod list, but this is also the same. So you're definitely going to always be using these skills to help build your burst meter, because as soon as you activate your burst, they're going to be instantly cooled down. They're going to be ready to rock and roll, which, by the way, you gain your burst meter so much quicker now, and you keep it for a good decent while. You are going through 3 or 4 skill rotations before it comes back down, and then it only takes 1 skill rotation to get it back up. So it is much more fluid in doing Guardians, Chaos Dungeons, Raids. It's so much better now. Thank goodness they finally showed us some love on this. And overall, on the Trixian DPS meter, you're getting way more damage, and I'm about to show that here in just a second. All the other skills are going to remain the same as far as tripods, gems, etc., but I will go over them real quick. So Finish Strike, you're going to have Gale Wind, you're going to go 3-3-2. For Brave Slash, you're going to have a Wealth Rune, and you're going to go 2-3-2. For Windblade, you're going to go 3-3-2, and you're going to have the Golden Wealth Rune. This creates the most burst meter, so you want to have the Gold Wealth Rune in here. You're going to go Mountain Crash 2-1. Then you're going to go Overdrive with the Gale Wind as well with the 3-2-1. And Hellblade is going to go 2-1-1. And you do not need this tripod here for Leap, because you're going to notice that you're going to be running out of tripods. And so you don't really need level 5 leap in here. There's no point. You already leap pretty freaking far, so you don't need it. So just leave that at level 1. And then Tempest Slash, you're going to Quick Prep, Weak Point Detection, 3-3-1, Driving Hit is the 1. And then Red Dust, you're going to go 1-1-1. And I throw a Bleed Rune on here. That's what I like. But you can probably go for a couple of different rune choices depending on the raid, the setup, all that. But these are generally the skills that you're going to be using. And as far as gems, you're going to be using damage gems on your major damage skills like Hellblade, Bloody Rush, Tempest Slash, Finish Strike, and Overdrive. And then you're going to be using cooldown gems on Hellblade, Bloody Rush, Red Dust, Tempest Slash, Overdrive, and Finish Strike. I'm going to be going ahead and using Lost Wind Cliff Set because I really feel like this crit rate on this class is super critical. Let's go ahead and get into the rotations here. Now, the rotations are pretty lenient because, again, 2 of these skills come right back off a cooldown. But in general, whenever you are in burst mode now, whenever you use Mountain Crash, you're going to have a 4-second window to be doing damage. So typically that's going to be 2 skills. So you're usually going to be using Brave Slash and Tempest Slash, or maybe Finish Strike and Brave Slash. It just depends, but usually you're going to be using 2 skills. With Red Dust, you're typically going to be using 3 skills, and usually they're the 3 hardest hitting skills. So if you were going to prioritize those, it would, without a doubt, your most powerful skill is Bloody Rush. Hands down. So if that's up, you need to be using that. As far as the other skills go, though, your Hellblade, your Overdrive, and your Finish Strike all do about the same amount of damage. As far as the Tempest Slash and the Brave Slash, they also do about the same amount of damage. So that's why you can kind of group them together, and you don't have to prioritize one or the other because they do about the same. So that's really good to know on when you're prioritizing your skills when they're up. And of course, you do want to be using Berserk Fury whenever you have the crit chance up. So that's kind of a one-off on the rotation, but let's go ahead, get into it. So previously my DPS was about 3.5 million for the minute, and I am gonna go ahead and get this meter up without, testing my DPS because I don't wanna test that necessarily in that window. So let's go ahead and check out this little opening rotation. So we're gonna go Mountain Crash, Windblade, Brave Slash, Overdrive, gotta use the Overdrive. And personally, right here, I go Tempest Slash and Finish Strike. And then from right here, you can go ahead and go boom, it resets 2 big skills. You can go Finish Strike and then open up with Bloody Rush and then go straight into your other big skills, okay? And if you notice, whenever you open up with Bloody Rush and another big skill, you're likely only You are likely only gonna have time for one short skill. So for example, if you go Red Dust, Bloody Rush, and then Hellblade, for example, you're only going to be able to do Brave Slash to get that in. So just keep that in mind. And there's no perfect rotation because every boss fight's going to be a little bit different. But whenever you're building meter initially, you can't really go wrong. So don't think too hard about it. Just make sure to be using your Brave Slash and your Overdrive, as well as, of course, your major meter building skills, which are your Mountain Crash, Windblade, and Tempest Slash. If you need to use a Finish Strike or a Red Dust, or just wait another 2 seconds or so to use another Mountain Crash, then you're fine. It's not a big deal because then you're just getting into the super min-maxy part of that, and you don't need to do that to have fun and play the class well. So I'm gonna simulate real quick a 1 minute DPS parse, so let's kick this baby off. God, that's a lot of damage, man. Brave Slash, I can fit it, maybe. We'll just chill, wait for the Red Dust or the Mountain Crash, and it's such a good option because they come up so quickly. Nice. I feel like my DPS is already so much higher. This is the first test that I've actually done with the DPS meter. Big skill and a little skill here fits easily within that window for Mountain Crash. At a minute, I think I'm going to be able to get a Bloody Rush here and a Brave Slash. So 4.5 mil. That went from 3.5 to 4.5 million. I'm really impressed. That's 25% almost damage increase. That's ridiculous. Just because if you're going through your rotations a little bit easier, it makes more sense. It's definitely much more smooth and it's not near as clunky. Plus you're always getting the maximum damage, or it's much easier to be getting the maximum damage because you don't have to deal with Strike Wave. And instead now you get Overdrive, which is a very consistent hitting skill. You're always going to be hitting these 3 hits, right? So I'm really impressed with this update. Let me know down in the comments if you are as excited as I am about these changes for this class. And if you don't play Berserker, then hey, what changes are you excited for? Because there were plenty of other changes to other classes. The only downside is that we had to wait 3 freaking months for this to happen, which sucks. So hopefully we won't have to wait that long next time, but I'll see you on the next video.